is Michael Morelli, and I'm a public benefits advocate working at Community Legal Aid in Pittsfield. Community Legal Aid offers free assistance with a variety of civil legal issues, such as housing, family law, Social Security disability issues and calculation issues, humanitarian-based immigration relief, and public benefits. And public benefits is the area that I focus on in my work at Community Legal Aid. I wanted to talk a little bit about what sort of public benefits I'm referring to. They could be cash assistance through the Department of Transitional Assistance, and the Department of Transitional Assistance is the state agency that is tasked with providing those benefits. And Mass Health is another public benefit, not through the Department of Transitional Assistance, but a public benefit that that I help and advocate for on behalf of residents in Berkshire County. The benefit that I want to focus on today are SNAP benefits. SNAP, also formerly known as the food stamp program. And so I want to talk about how we can maximize those benefits and a couple of other eligibility aspects to bring up. So what is SNAP? SNAP stands for Supplemental Nutritional Assistance Program. It's, again, as I said, formerly the food stamps program. And it's a monthly food benefit that is deposited onto a card, and you use that card to purchase food. It's a 100% federally funded program. And as I said, it's paid through an electronic benefits transfer card, or an EBT card. And this card has a PIN security code that protects it so that only you are able to use that card. Who qualifies for SNAP? Families with children and pregnant women, seniors and persons with disabilities, and unemployed and low-wage individuals. You must be a U.S. citizen or meet certain legal immigration rules, and you must meet certain SNAP financial requirements. Applying for SNAP. So if you're not already getting benefits, you can apply for SNAP online through dtaconnect.com. That's DTACONNECT, all one word, .com. You could mail or fax a paper SNAP application by downloading it from the mass.gov website. But during the COVID-19 crisis, unfortunately, you cannot go in person to your local DTA office and apply. So it either has to be done online or by mail or fax. And if you think you might have issues applying on your own, you can get assistance to apply through the Food Bank of Western Massachusetts, which is located in Hatfield. And they provide food to the food pantries throughout the area. But one of their other roles is to actually help SNAP applicants apply for SNAP and help them provide the verifications they need in order to be eligible. Their phone number is 413-247-9738. Again, 413-247-9738. And again, they are located in Hatfield. So who must be included in the SNAP household? There is what they call a SNAP household concept. Spouses living together, children under 22 living with their parents, and unrelated children under 18, where the adult supervises or financially supports the child. Also, unrelated individuals living together who purchase and prepare a majority of their meals together also are required to be in the same SNAP household. Now, I want to talk a little bit about the deductions that you may be entitled to hopefully increase your SNAP benefit. One of those is the medical expense deduction. So what is that? Well, it allows for people who have out-of-pocket medical costs. So a third party is not paying these costs or another insurance. You as the individual are responsible for the payment of it yourself, or you're incurring that debt on your own and are required to pay it. And so elder households who are 60 or over, and, or disabled households who receive a disability-based benefit such as Social Security disability or Mass Health Standard based on a disability, they would be entitled to this medical expense deduction. And in order to trigger the deduction, you must have these unreimbursed medical expenses that exceed $35 a month. So it has to be over $35 of unreimbursed medical expenses. And so what are the common types of medical costs that can be deducted from income? Medicare Part B, D, and other health insurance premiums, copays, over-the-counter items, outstanding one-time bills, such as dental procedures, hearing aids, batteries, eyeglasses, dental care, dentures, adhesives. There's a whole host of different medical costs that can be deducted from income. And examples of over-the-counter drugs and supplies. So over-the-counter drugs can be items that are prescribed or recommended by a licensed healthcare provider, and those include pain relievers, antacids, allergy meds, skincare ointments and creams for a medical condition, vitamins and herbal remedies, diabetic supplies. So there's a whole host of over-the-counter supplies that you can deduct from your income. Again, they certainly can be prescribed from your doctor or licensed healthcare provider, but as long as they're just recommended, they can still be deducted from your income to hopefully increase your SNAP benefit. And so sample proofs for some of those medical costs would be unpaid bills or paid receipts, insurance bills with premium amounts due, the pharmacy printout of your copays. So you can ask the pharmacy, you can call them and ask that they send to you a printout of all of your copays for that year. And if you're going to use that to show DTA that you meet this medical deduction standard, you can remove the drug names and dosages so you protect your private information. Receipts that show your cost of over-the-counter drugs and vitamins. And so there are, those are some examples of how you can prove what your medical costs are. Travel costs also count towards the medical expense deduction. So what are travel costs? Well, travel to and from a healthcare provider, a drugstore, therapy, or other healthcare service, whether you take public transportation, such as BRTA, the bus, private taxi, or you're driving yourself. And if you do, you can self-declare the use of your car, and DTA calculates at the federal IRS mileage rate. And again, it's round trip. So it's to and from a healthcare provider or other healthcare service. I want to talk a little bit about shelter deduction. So this is another aspect of the SNAP program that allows for hopefully an increase in your monthly SNAP benefit. So what counts as a shelter cost? Monthly rent due is certainly one, or homeowner cost if you're a homeowner, and all of the costs that come with that, such as a mortgage, insurance, real estate taxes, condo fee. Another part of the shelter deduction is something called the Standard Utility Allowance, SUA, and this is just a utility allowance that the federal government sets at a set amount. You get a set dollar amount that you can reduce from your income, and depending on what that utility is will determine whether or not you get a higher standard utility allowance. So for example, if you have heating costs or air conditioning costs, cooling costs, you will get the highest standard utility allowance. If you have electricity or cooking gas costs, you will have a little less of a standard utility allowance. And if it's just a phone or just a cell phone only, then you get a very small standard utility allowance. Again, this utility allowance is designed to be deductible from your income. And again, if you have heating or air conditioning costs, even if you're using an air conditioner in the summer, and obviously maybe not all year, you still are entitled to that highest standard utility allowance. One other thing to keep in mind with the shelter deduction is that there's no cap on a shelter cost for elder or disabled households. So non-elder and non-disabled households who have shelter costs, they're capped at a certain amount of money. But if you are an elder household, so 60 or over, or disabled household, there is no cap. If so if you're a homeowner and you have a lot of additional add-on costs like water, sewer, or again, um, all the costs that come with a mortgage or condo fee, all those can be added in and won't be capped if they're over the standard. I believe the capped amount is $569. So if you have over that with your homeowner's costs or your shelter costs, you can certainly deduct them. There's also a dependent care deduction. So this is the actual cost of childcare or disabled adult care costs. And it's for people who, households who are needed to attend school or look for work. It includes costs to the YMCA, the summer day camps, and after school programs. And that also comes with an ability to deduct your private transportation at the federal mileage rate if you're driving within that dependent care deduction. I just want to take a moment and talk about COVID-19 and emergency SNAP benefits. So for the moment, and this is something that probably won't last after the COVID-19 crisis, but for the moment, you may be entitled to extra SNAP benefits if your monthly SNAP benefit is less than the maximum amount for your household. So for example, if you are one person and you are getting $194, that is the most you can get for a one-person SNAP household. So if you are getting that maximum, then you aren't entitled to the emergency SNAP benefit. But if you're a one-person SNAP household and you're below that, due to COVID-19, you will get an increase up to that maximum. And for whatever household size you are, you will get that maximum during the COVID-19 health crisis. When do you get this? Well, eligible households get this extra SNAP benefit on their EBT card each month until the public health emergency ends. And it's usually deposited on the EBT card at the end of the month. So again, this is something that's happening now due to COVID-19. When the public health emergency ends, it likely won't continue, but it's something to be aware of now in September of 2020. Other benefits with your SNAP eligibility. Well, SNAP eligibility will trigger automatic free school meals for elementary and secondary school students. You can get a discount on your utility bills. So if you are paying, if you think your electric bill is high, you can double check with your electric company to make sure you are getting the discounted rate. And of course, you want to tell them that you are a SNAP recipient. And you also get eligibility for the Healthy Incentives Program, the HIP program. This is a program that allows for SNAP recipients to purchase fresh fruits and vegetables at farmers markets in season. And so you get $1 for $1 SNAP benefits that you spend right back on your EBT card. So you spend for every dollar you spend, you get $1 back up to a certain maximum. For instance, for a 1 or 2 person household, you would get up to $40 back for every dollar you spent at the farmer's market. It's a great program, and it's something to just be aware of. And one last thing I want to mention is how SNAP treats state veterans benefits. In the state of Massachusetts, we have a state veterans benefits program. And so it's a great underutilized program, I think, in some respects. People who are meet the veteran status under the law, or are dependents of that veteran, or are even a parent of a veteran, may be eligible for a monthly cash grant that also provides for other needs, such as homeowner arrearages, utility arrearages, medical costs that you're not able to cover. It's a great program, the state Veterans Benefit Program here in Massachusetts. And if you are receiving state veterans benefits and you're also getting SNAP benefits, there's a little known fact that if the Veterans Service Office, so the Veterans Service Office is the office where the veterans agent is in each town in Massachusetts. If the monthly benefit you're entitled to under the state veterans benefits program, if that check, or even a portion of that check, is being sent directly to your landlord or to a utility agency um, for heating or cooling costs, these payments are excluded from income when figuring monthly SNAP benefits. So it's an important thing to remember, because that could very well increase your SNAP benefits for a veteran or an eligible dependent of a veteran. So keep that in mind too. And if you have any questions, you should certainly ask DTA about that. Finally, I just want to talk a little bit about what your rights are as a DTA recipient or applicant. You have the right to apply. You have the right to be notified of verifications needed. You have the right to a written notice of approval and the amount of the benefit. Or if you're denied, you have a right to the reason why you've been denied and a cite to the DTA regulation that supports that denial. If English is not your first language, and you have a right to an interpreter, you have the right to non-discrimination. You have the right to ask for what's known as an accommodation if you're disabled, which allows for you to meet the SNAP rules if a disability is creating a barrier for you to do that. And you also have the right to speak to a client assistance coordinator. These are staff members at DTA who specifically are there to help you make that request for an accommodation and ask more questions about your disability and the barrier that you're experiencing. And finally, you have the right to appeal. In most cases, you have 90 days from the date of the notice of the DTA denial. And this is really important because SNAP benefits are you have a legal right to that benefit. They're under the law. And so it's important to know that if you're denied or you're terminated from the program, or your benefits are reduced, that you can submit an appeal and be heard on that issue. Well, I want to thank you for taking the time today to listen to this video. I hope it was helpful, and please take care and be well. Thank you so much.